Just yesterday, I published my review of the 2024 My Arcade Pac-Man Joystick Player. Now, this is the new version that has the full-size ball-top joystick on a little deck in front of the game. And I probably saw a half dozen or more commenters saying, "That's really cool, but I wish they would give Ms. Pac-Man the same treatment." Well, you're in luck. They did, and we're going to take a look at it right after this. This video brought to you in part by Embraceware. Learn more about the ultimate game guide just ahead. Hey there, welcome back to GenXGrownUp. I'm John and I am a GenXGrownUp. Thank you for taking the time to click on this video. It was back at CES 2024 in January when I was at the My Arcade booth and they were displaying their new line of joystick players. Now these are, unlike their old micro players, these have full-size controls with a smaller tabletop gadget playing the game in front of it. We saw that they teased an Asteroids, they teased a Pac-Man, which I just reviewed, but the one that grabbed my attention the most because of the features I knew were coming was this Ms.PAC-MAN, and based on the comments in my previous review, I wasn't alone. Look, we know what they did with Pac-Man, and these follow a pattern, so if they can repeat the cool stuff we saw with that one, with Ms.PAC-MAN, a game that I tend to play even more than Pac-Man, we ought to have a winner. Let's head to the table and find out. All right, Ms.PAC-MAN. I have been looking forward to this review since I first saw they were doing these joystick players. In fact, it's probably why I did the Pac-Man first. You can see a link to that up there if you didn't see it. But it was a bit of delayed gratification on my behalf because I knew, I felt at least the Pac-Man would be a letdown after seeing Ms.PAC-MAN. So I wanted to build to this for myself anyway. Your mileage may vary, but for my money, Ms.PAC-MAN, across the board, a better game than Pac-Man, so excited to see it get this treatment. Same as before, you can take a look on the package. You can see the interior, we're going to get to that. It's gorgeous with that pink and blue. Down here, as before, you can see we have two game modes. We now know that second one most likely is the Speed-Up. We'll see, I think so. High score saving, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to test denying it power, in fact, and see how it handles high scores there. Around back, again, we have just an overview. We have a nice tile here with game history, so you understand the context of the game, and then you open up this little magnetic latch. Let's see what the payoff is. Features, license title, 3.5-inch screen, high score saving, classic mode, and speed up mode. Outstanding. Yeah, that's what we want to see in a Ms.PAC-MAN. More so, I think, than in a Pac-Man. I think the speed-up mode of Ms.PAC-MAN was so popular, I know people who won't even play the standard Ms.PAC-MAN. If it doesn't have the speed-up chip in it, they'll pass it by. They just like it that much more. I'm not saying I'm necessarily in that camp, but if you are, this thing has it. Okay, let's get this young lady open and see what all the fuss is about. Once unpacked, we've got our joystick player, of course. We have this new to me at least, since the GSP, the Certificate of Authenticity. And then we have the catalog, which is still the catalog from last year, the GameStation Pro. That's garbage, and I think this is just, yep, generic manual, more trash. You know what's not trash, though? This beautiful beast. I just love the looks of this thing. I mean, it uses the original pink and blue kind of art style. It has the yellow, so that's observant of what the original joystick would have been, what it looked like. The artwork on the side, look at this. This is that classic artwork you would have seen walking in the arcade if you could see the side of the cabinet at least, or maybe you saw it in your grocery store or your gas station. But a little cropping done to make it fit in this design, but this is what you want to see. Now, this isn't printed right on the plastic. I thought the Pac-Man was, but this is just one giant decal. It runs the entire height, nice and kind of semi-glossy. And then, of course, the length up here to this ribbing on the control deck. And what do we have around front? My arcade decal. And again, same thing on the right-hand side. I mean, just look at that thing. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, if you like Ms.PAC-MAN, this is art. And My Arcade has absolutely nailed the look of Ms.PAC-MAN, even carrying over that kind of racetrack design into the control deck. Really, really nice. Start my quick tour of the hardware by checking up top. So we have a miniaturized marquee up here. The Pac-Man looked like it might have been transparent and you could backlight it. I don't think so here. That is a sticker that's on the pink, so I don't think that's going to be the case. Nice bezel work here. You have a fake sticker for the screen, and that's a 3.5-inch screen. The screen, I think, has not been changed since last year, but same one we saw on the Galaga joystick player as well, which is quite serviceable for a device of this type. Now down here, the old control deck is still there, but it's turned into just kind of a peripheral deck, home, credit, and player 1, player 2 start. There is a kneeboard. It's way down there, and it's teensy weensy, that little coin door. By the way, that does illuminate. Marquee doesn't, coin door does. If you're gonna spend an LED, I'd rather you put it up top. And then, of course, you have the reason for this year's upgrade. The joystick player is named as such because of this nice, big, nearly full-size joystick. In fact, I think the ball top, it feels genuine. The shaft is a little thinner, but it doesn't rotate. It's kind of locked in. It's nice and clicky. And it actually feels to me like it has a little bit of a guidance to put you in the feel of a four-way joystick. Even if this particular joystick might have diagonals, it does a good job of pushing you toward the cardinal directions when you move it. That was my experience with the Pac-Man as well. So this joystick, for me at least, is a winner. Briefly, around back, power on-off switch, volume up and volume down. You have a single rear-firing mono speaker. Below that, you have the battery door with a screw to hold it in place, and then you have the ports. You have a headphone jack, a USB 5-volt power in, and the brightness toggle. You can click that to adjust the brightness of that screen. And finally, on a device of this size, it's worth pointing out these big rubber strips that run the entire length of both sides of the device to keep it from sliding around on the table during those excitable play sessions. Now I'm ready to play some Ms. Pac-Man, but rather than putting in batteries, I'm going to power this with USB-C because I want to do some tests with that high score and see if it persists even when you deny it power, and batteries would be cheating. The ultimate game guide app for NES has been updated to include Super NES. The app is now free to try with a sampling of content and a purchase option to unlock the full library for each system. Manage both your NES and your Super NES collections in a single app. The entire libraries of both systems are covered with reviews, screenshots, cart images, box art, and information such as genre, publisher, release date, estimated price, and more. Also features tips, codes, passwords, Game Genie codes, and magazine print ads. Sync your collection with a free cloud account and view the estimated value. Available now at embraceware.com/GenX. Into the arcade we go. Standard micro player and little logo. The menu, Ms. Pac-Man or Ms. Pac-Man Speed-Up mode. Now, just as before with the Pac-Man, there were questions all the way back to Galaga. Is this stick in the front of it in the way? And you can see it's not, right? So if I place this here the way I'm going to play, my hand is on the stick, and my hand, I have my finger above it. Here's 2 fingers above it. Here's 3 fingers. That's how far you have to get above that stick before it's in the way. So that stick down there is nothing but good as far as I'm concerned. Let's start by checking out Ms. Pac-Man, but I do want to take a look at that screen brightness adjustment. So little button on the back, brighter, dimmer, and then default. It starts on that default, and you can cycle those anytime you like. So if you're playing in the dark, you might like the darker or bright situations, but I'm happy with the medium. That's all that does if you are curious. So let's jump into Ms. Pac-Man. All right, here we go. Start. Yeah. Just playing this right now primarily has me eager to play it on speed up mode. But we have to give this one its due first. Ooh. Some of the sounds, look, once more, we know this is not the original arcade ROM. This appears to be an updated version of the one we got in the Micro Player and Pocket Player Pro last year. Do we want original arcade ROMs? Of course we do. Are we getting them? I don't know. One day. Gotta leave yourself room to upgrade, I guess. There's so much to like about Ms. Pac-Man in general. The moving fruit. There we go. Speaking of which, as if on cue, there's the moving fruit. It almost feels a little slow to me, but again, that might be because I'm thinking of playing the speed-up chip, Ms. Pac-Man. I bet you that's not going to feel slow. Now we have to make sure and get a high score here. We want to watch the first intermission, of course, to check audio quality. And we need a high score because we have to test high score saving, a new feature this year. And there's a bouncing strawberry. Come here, strawberry. Got it. All right, there's the extra man, or I'm sorry, woman, my mistake. And there's our high score. And let's just skip the ghost and wrap this up. Let's watch that first intermission. Ooh, what is that noise? That's not a bonk. Little variations in this ROM. The play experience, Ms.PAC-MAN. Some of the sounds, interesting. Still though, yeah, we're going to test the high score saving real quick, and then we're going to try the speed up version. Got him. All right, Blinky. Okay, high score, 16,250. I'm not just going to turn it off, I'm going to unplug it and then plug it back in. Okay, it's back up. Let's start Ms.PAC-MAN. Come on, high score. Come on, high score. Yes! Even denying it power. Using USB, they're storing it somewhere inside. They added just a little bit of memory in order to store this. I got to guess that's what they did because, look, it's working. All right, let's try that speed up version. Speed up mode, credit, and away we go. I'm so excited to try this one. Let's go. Look at that. Tearing through the maze. Fruit, all four ghosts. Yeah, if you don't get a higher score on Ms.PAC-MAN in speed up mode, you're just not trying. Extra. Whoa, man. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to come up there, should you? The little things like that, ghost behavior, are the things that are going to make absolute Ms.PAC-MAN purists, and Pac-Man for that matter, purists, kind of makes their teeth itch. But if you're looking for the experience without the absolute pixel-to-pixel accuracy, you know, and all the logic being there, man, it's really close. All right, so we have a high score of 17.8. We need to kill off these Pac women. Not Pac-moms, Ms.PAC-MAN. And let's wrap this one up. So we got a high score of 18,680. Not bad. Once more, I'm going to deny this device power, plug it back in, and check to make sure that our high score is not only still there, but differentiated between the standard speed and the high speed. Let's check. 18,680. Real quickly, let's go look at the standard speed. 16,250. Great. Okay, so there's everything we wanted to know, right? High score saving, independent for the two versions. You have high speed Ms.PAC-MAN, you have the standard speed Ms.PAC-MAN, and this joystick this is the big news this year, I think, so far at least from my arcade, what we can see. This stick needs to be on so many more devices. It just feels great. Look, it's a little shorter than you might want it, but I put my hand up here, it's a little short, put my hand down there. It's just right. It's just right. Oh, right.
These new joystick players from my arcade this year are kind of creating a new category on the spectrum of arcade toys that we've seen in the past. Well above the tiny joystick ones that we've seen from my arcade themselves and Basic Fun and a lot of manufacturers in the past, well above those, but well below the top tier of, you know, like a New Wave Toys Replicade or the Numbskull quarter arcades. And also don't demand the price premium you would get. Those can often run, you know, 4 to 5 times as expensive as this little guy, but doesn't have the original arcade ROM, which they would have. So, you know, that's quite a premium that we're ended up paying for that. The real thing here is the joystick. It's really, I guess entirely, that's the differentiator. The screen's nothing special. It's a little larger. That's great. The design, of course, Ms.PAC-MAN is kind of a standout, but they're the same kind of size and everything. But having this kind of control really elevates the play experience in general. It'd be interesting to see what else could be done beyond just a joystick. You could refresh that Galaga and do a joystick and button full size. Would that work? Is the deck too small? You know, what about a trackball controller? What about that Gorf we've been talking about? There are so many things that you could explore with a device like this. And this Ms.PAC-MAN, since we're talking about Ms.PAC-MAN in general, is as good gameplay as the one that was released last year. Which also means it probably didn't get as much improvement as the Pac-Man we saw. Look, it got the speed up, it got the saving of scores, and that's spectacular. But it didn't get the same love that Pac-Man got. Let me show you what I mean. I noticed last year in the Ms.PAC-MAN custom ROM that if you eat 2 ghosts at the same time, you don't get 2 chomp animations. Look here when I eat this first ghost. I get 400, didn't get the 200, then the 400. The score worked, but it was just a little glitch, a little oversight. I pointed out in my Pac-Man review that they specifically fixed that. They did things in the Pac-Man to improve it over last year in the software that they didn't give that same love to Ms.PAC-MAN this year, and that's a little disappointing. But they did give us other improvements. So in the software, it's kind of a wash from last year. If you like this Pac-Man from last year, the software here is just about identical. But a huge upgrade in the hardware. The design of this cabinet, I just think is spectacular. And again, the joystick works wonderfully. I'm a little disappointed this Ms.PAC-MAN didn't get the same attention to detail that Pac-Man got this year, because really, I'm a bigger fan of Ms.PAC-MAN, truth be told. So, software's the same, didn't get the same love. Controller is fantastic, but it's a little more expensive. I think last year I said the Ms.PAC-MAN Microplayer Pro I gave 4 tokens because it was a huge improvement over the previous year. The software is not, but the hardware is here. A little more expensive. I'm gonna go 3 3/4 tokens out of 5 for this year's My Arcade Ms.PAC-MAN Joystick Player. If you were happy with the software offering last year and want to experience that gameplay with this much improved controller, then this joystick player is going to be something you're probably going to want to check out. Of course, I have links down in the description of this video where you can click to pre-order right now. They're shipping at the end of this month. I'm going to throw links over my shoulder here and here to some other coverage of the new 2024 stuff from My Arcade as it comes out. I certainly hope you found something to enjoy in this video, and I can't wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.